Then you have Van Jones leading the charge on taxing the rich. I told you how he kicked off the California State Democratic Party convention. This was on Friday night. He wasted no time in pushing the president's Tax the Rich plan, saying, quote, that will get their attention. The idea that people who have already climbed that ladder have to give it back to them. That's the pathway forward, I think, to electrifying that generation. He's so great. That's why Nancy Pelosi calls him the leader of the future. Oh, and he will be the leader of the future, yeah? Mm-hmm. He was talking about California's millionaire's tax proposal for 2012. The leftist group Courage Campaign was behind it. Courage Campaign? Like it's courageous to be a communist in this society with this media anymore, please. But Courage, they're using Kim Kardashian to appeal to the youth as an example for taxing the rich. They've even put out a video claiming that the reality star made $12 million in 2010, but only paid, yes, 10% in taxes. Okay, really? The average California resident paid 9% and only earned $47,000, but she, $12 million. Now, I'd like to point out a few things about the progressive tax the rich plea. One, how does Courage Campaign know how much Kim Kardashian pays in taxes? How do they know? Is it public? Does she have to if she wants to be I don't even know what she is, a reality star or whatever she is. They have to release their income taxes now? Two, if that's income tax, then she's clearly cheating on her taxes and they should call the IRS because she'd be prosecuted. Three, the Courage Campaign calls itself a progressive alliance. Ooh, I wonder who they're allied with. It's pushing a proposal called the Millionaire Tax of 2012, which calls for, quote, those making more than $1 million a year in personal income to pay their fair share in taxes. That sounds almost exactly like the president's plan. The goal is to raise $6 billion to go towards education spending, public services, and union job creation. Look for the union label. 4, some of the proposal's supporters include, and you guessed it, the unions and other leftist groups like the California Federation of Teachers, the California Nurses Association. Wait a minute, that was AFL-CIO, and I think this one is SEIU. California Calls, the Democratic Socialist of America, Occupy Education, California, local chapters of Ask Fusimichi. All of these. I love where's the Ask Fusimichi? Love them. They're fantastic. Don't know what they do, but we should ask me. Job creation with higher taxes. Sounds exactly like Obama's new budget plan that came out this morning. And it is a coincidence, isn't it? Or you think they're using the same teleprompter? Obama's highlights include $800 billion for a new job creation and infrastructure spending program. Ooh, wait a minute. Didn't we already spend about that same amount 3 years ago on a stimulus plan? That didn't work out well, did it? He also wants to raise taxes to 30% on millionaires. Now, we've seen progressives do this before. When FDR was president, he went after businessman and former Treasury Secretary Andrew Mellon. Roosevelt hated this guy, hated him. Look at him there with a mustache and stuff. Well, I'm in a wheelchair. So, he hated him. Had nothing to do with him not being able to walk. Different story. Might have been the mustache, but I'm not sure. He wanted to fix the Great Depression economy with spending and higher taxes. Mellon was like, no. Remember Harding? We did it with small government when taxes were really low, and the government we cut in half. There were plenty of jobs. So FDR went after Mellon, accusing him of not paying his proper taxes. He used whatever resources he could. He used the FBI, he used the IRS, he audited Mellon, he did everything he could. Even though IRS employees said Mellon's taxes were in order, FDR persisted. The case dragged on for months and months and months, went to court. Eventually, Mellon won. It went to the Supreme Court because he had the truth on his side. They actually came out and said he paid more than his fair share, but that didn't stop FDR. Even FDR's own son said his father, quote, may have been the originator of the concept of employing the IRS as a weapon of political retribution. Oh, yeah. This is what's coming. This is what's happening now in many cases. And Van Jones is there to help stir the pot. Go get the rich people. I've been saying that Van Jones would come back as a hero. They were going to revamp him. They were going to make him into the American hero. Well, he's almost ready for showtime. They'd clean up his act and clean up his image, and he'd come out swinging. This guy, we told you, was it last summer or the summer before last? This guy's been watching speeches of Ronald Reagan. He's ready. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. But they're talking about people that make $1 million, and I got news for you. That's really not who the Occupy Wall Streeters are talking about when they really say about the rich people. They mean the Steve Jobs. They mean the Mellons of our day. They mean people like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. Not George Soros. Definitely not George Soros. Don't hear his name ever. Those are the people that should pay more taxes. Those guys make billions, not millions. See, we're not talking about billionaires, are we? Why not? Why not go after the billionaires? Because that's where the real money is compared to the millionaires. Why go after people who make $1 million? Because the billionaires are on their side. You can leave the billionaires out of it because the billionaires don't pay tax like you do and I do. If you want to get the Warren Buffetts of the world that they keep using as an example, you look to their capital gains tax, not their income tax, because they're not making money. They don't get a salary like you get one or I get a salary. You get capital gains. I shouldn't suggest that because Obama used to be for capital gains tax hikes. He won't do it now because it would hurt his billionaire friends who are financing his power. But listen to his own words.
You have, however, said you would favor an increase in the capital gains tax. As a matter of fact, you said on CNBC, and I quote, I certainly would not go above what existed under Bill Clinton, which was 28%. It's now 15%. That's almost a doubling if you went to 28%. But actually, Bill Clinton in 1997 signed legislation that dropped the capital gains tax to 20%. Right. And George Bush has taken it down to 15%. Right. And in each instance, when the rate dropped, revenues from the tax increased. The government took in more money. And in the 1980s, when the tax was increased to 28%, the revenues went down. So why raise it at all? Especially given the fact that 100 million people in this country own stock and would be affected.
Well, Charlie, what I've said is that I would look at raising the capital gains tax for purposes of fairness.
So let's have the rich people, the millionaires, spread the wealth around. But no, that's not who has the real wealth. That's not the ones you keep using. Let's talk about millionaires for a second. Did you know that 84% of self-made millionaires are entrepreneurs? Most of them started with nothing. Obama's tax plan is hurting the entrepreneurs, the people who always restart, the Edisons and the Fords, the people who have always restarted our country, the Bill Gates. Oh, yeah, but he's a bad guy now. They're kicking the legs out from underneath us.